Hello and welcome to another Overlord theory video, and today, after discussing the events of the 15th and 16th novels at length, we will take a closer look at the danger a rogue Zesshi would pose. But before we're going to take a closer look at this, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Now, with all of that said, let's talk quickly why Zesshi could even go rogue. Or rather, would have gone rogue in the first place, since she now remains captured within Nazarick. Well, the same motivation so many antagonists have in common. A bad childhood. Zeshi's mother never loved her, never cared for her, and saw her only as an asset. And her profession was to beat up her teammates, who also provided more or less the only social contact she had. And while the theocracy's higher-ups valued her, and revered her even for her godly blood, she was still seen as a kid by them. So there are pretty many reasons why Zesshi might have gone rogue. Alternatively, she might just have fallen in love with an elf, and therefore she might have switched sides during the war against the Elf Kingdom after destroying her father and taking over his realm. So how dangerous would a rogue Zesshi be? And the answer is immensely. She is the single strongest godkin of the theocracy of Slain, and the only nations that could even hope to resist her are the Arkland Council State, and any other nation protected by 5 Dragonlords, Platinum and his armor among them, who would likely win a conflict, and if they all would fight together, they should win decisively. The nations in the interior of the continent vying for dominance potentially could also resist Zesshi, but little is known about them. And as a bonus, Corpus of the Abyss under Cure Elim Los Malvar, but for the theocracy it would, if they even can win, a very hard battle, simply because they now have to fight against their own strongest godkin, Zesshi herself. Still, there are 3 ways Zesshi could still lose and be defeated, and I strangely don't consider the army to be one of these, simply because while the army of Slain is the single best human army out there, and while it will enjoy a great numerical superiority, it is still comprised of weak individuals, aka people under the level of 30. Zesshi can just go in, kill a couple thousand troops at a time, retreat, recover, and win bit by bit. And since she's such a great force, concentrated on just a single individual, and way more mobile than anyone, she could pull this move off any time, perhaps with ein Harrier acting as a rearguard, covering her retreat. Which brings us to Zeshi's first weakness, the entirety of the Black Scripture. Now I say the Black Scripture because the other godkin, even in a single fight against Zesshi, has lost every single time. But with other powerful individuals at his side and the gear of the 6 great gods, as well as hopefully some summoning items here and there, Zesshi could maybe be defeated. And by defeated I mean barely, but the entire scripture needs to corner her and then go all out, supporting the leader while also trying to trade as few lives as possible for as much damage to Zesshi as feasible. And even then, with ein Harrier and the goal of all life is death, she still would have favorable odds against the scripture. Against all scriptures combined, in fact. Now the next thing is something that maybe actually might have happened. Zesshi could be defeated by downfall of Castle and Country, the world-class item that Slain currently owns, and that can put anyone under mind control. The only problem with this is that seemingly no one else can use this item now. Still, by sacrificing some Myco-priestesses or some relic items of the 6 great gods, or by a daring raid on the Sorcerer Kingdom in order to steal Inferior's talent, Zesshi could perhaps be captured and just reintegrated into the Slain theocracy again. And perhaps this has already happened, maybe even under her mother's order, because she didn't love or perhaps even distrusted Zesshi. But that's a story for another video. And the third option, and in my opinion the most exciting possibility, would be a fight against the first follower of Surshana, Rufus. Now we don't know how strong he is, or what he could do, and which items he has, only that he's an undead. And for all we know, he could just be a skeletal mage, so a very easy foe to defeat. But if he has powerful high tier summons and is only slightly weaker than Zesshi, he could perhaps still win the fight against her, thus bringing her down. Now with all of that said, Slayn would still have one major problem if it would have to fight Zesshi, namely Zeshi's time. As an half-elf, she is still young, and she still looks like a teenager despite being roughly 100 years or so old. Which could also mean that Zesshi, who is level 88 already, will grow as she fights Slayn. And the harder the challenge, the faster she will level up, so the threat of Zesshi will only increase with time. And on the other hand, even hit and run assaults by Zesshi would be so devastating that Slayn would lose so many vital fighters, like the scriptures, or even their entire leadership, Rufus, and whatever else could be destroyed in order to weaken Slayn. The theocracy would therefore be worn down bit by bit over the course of, let's say, 100 years or so, basically the same way the Elf King had been defeated by Slayn's attritional warfare. So a rogue hostile Zesshi would be pretty much the worst nightmare for much of the known world. Except of course for the Sorcerer Kingdom, who has already proven that one Floor Guardian is enough to defeat her. And with that said, what's your opinion on a rogue Zesshi? And while you speak your mind, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Arder Daddy Arder, Bad Guy Yee, Bad Boyto 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Lofrazer, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, Okill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantom, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Cune Kerkos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock at Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Zonegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.